am a time traveler from the year 2345. I sincerely apologize in advance for the events that are about to unfold. Welcome, everyone, to the latest issue of Tuyen Mat. Time travel, a topic full of fascination and mystery, has long captured human imagination and challenged our intellect. All human understanding of reality becomes clouded when the mind remains preoccupied with thoughts of time travel. To understand the past and see clearly into the future, such a person is worthy of the world's trust. But what if someone claims they actually did it? Not just limited to ordinary travel, this is also a direct leap to the year 2749. Are you ready to join me on a strange journey to explore these shocking claims? And the uneasy premonitions of a future shrouded in mystery have, to this day, not yet come to pass. Throughout history, the concept of time travel has always been a source of inspiration for the human imagination. The time machine, the allure of traveling back to the past or exploring the future, has always been a persistent human longing. Although often considered far-fetched, this is in fact a promising field of scientific research that is gradually revealing new possibilities. And what we perceive as possible. The very core of this research is the groundbreaking work of Albert Einstein. In the field of physics, Einstein's theory of relativity with its famous equations has not only completely transformed our understanding of, not only in terms of space and time, it also inadvertently opens the door to theories of time travel. No matter how complex these equations may be, they still reveal scenarios about the structure of space-time. It could be adjusted to make time travel possible. Although Einstein himself never directly confirmed the possibility of time travel based on his own theory. However, his contributions to the research have provided the scientific community and thinkers with a conceptual framework for exploring this topic. One of the leading experts with a significant voice in this field is the renowned theoretical physicist, Dr. Michio Kaku. With his profound knowledge of string theory and quantum mechanics, Kaku frequently emphasizes the view that there are absolutely no predetermined rules. No law of physics forbids time travel. According to him, however, there are still countless technical challenges to overcome. However, none of our current laws of physics can definitively confirm the possibility of time travel. While highly speculative, Kaku's perspectives offer a fresh viewpoint on the possibility of time travel. The harmonious combination of rigorous scientific thinking and a rich imagination. Essentially, while time travel remains a highly debated and speculative topic, its theories and our understanding of it. From great minds like Einstein or Kaku, we have gained a fascinating perspective on the potential of the future. Currently, the mind remains something that science cannot yet reach. It must be a combination of philosophy, literature, and modern physics. It continues to challenge our understanding of reality, while forcing us to contemplate the feasibility of time travel. Is that merely a far-fetched idea, or does it have the potential to become reality in the future? Tracking of cycles based on seasons and the moon to the emergence of precise mechanical clocks in the modern era, humanity. Before modern science provided the profound understanding of the concept of time we have today, ancient cultures. And the people of ancient times also contemplated the nature and role of time in the universe. Across civilizations, such as the Maya or the ancient Greeks, time was not always conceived of in the same way by humans. Like the cyclical rhythm of nature, it is not a straight flying arrow, but rather continuous loops. Like the seasons or the phases of the moon, time was believed by many ancient societies to move in a cyclical pattern, where events will repeat in one form or another. This cyclical conception of time became deeply ingrained in their daily life and spiritual existence. For example, the Maya people, with their complex calendar system, determined that time is not a straight line. It is a continuous cycle where the past, present, and future coexist and intertwine. Calendar systems have modeled time as a sequence of continuously repeating cycles. Each cycle carries its own distinct meaning, profoundly influencing agricultural activities and religious festivals. While the Maya looked to the sky to comprehend the flow of time, the Greeks turned to philosophy in search of answers. One of the most influential philosophers in this context is Plato. In his works, Plato conceived that time was born simultaneously with the universe and would also end when the universe ceased to exist. However, what is particularly fascinating is his view of a universe moving in perpetual cycles. Plato believed that after a period of decay, the universe would return to its primordial state and begin a new cycle. This perspective suggests that events and experiences in the universe repeat themselves in some manner, echoing the concept of cyclical time believed by many ancient cultures. These reflections from ancient civilizations form a crucial foundation, enabling humanity to delve deeper into exploring the nature of time. The dragon symbolizes an era when human understanding of the universe was still intertwined with spiritual life and direct astronomical observations. Before inventions such as the telescope or the theory of quantum mechanics came into being. As we continue our journey exploring time travel and its potential, recalling these age-old perspectives will help ensure we do not lose sight of a crucial truth. Since ancient times, reflections on time have emerged and become deeply ingrained in the culture and philosophy of major civilizations. These perspectives are the crucial pieces that form the basis for us to reason about a future still shrouded in many undiscovered mysteries. The contrast and influences of time. The concept of temporal paradoxes has long been a source of fascination and deep contemplation for scientists, philosophers, and science enthusiasts alike. A temporal paradox occurs when a person's actions in the past lead to a result that prevents those very actions from happening in the present or future. The consequences of these paradoxes do not merely undermine the very foundation of our knowledge about reality, and forces us to question the very nature of time itself. One of the most famous and widely known paradoxes is the grandfather paradox. Try to imagine a traveler going back in time and accidentally preventing the fateful meeting between their grandfather and grandmother. This means that person would never be born, and thus, it would be impossible to turn back time. The consequences of this are unpredictable, and it forces us to seriously question the feasibility of time travel. Another paradox related to Hitler. Suppose a time traveler goes back to the past to assassinate Hitler before he rises to power. If Hitler had been assassinated before he could become a global threat, would the time traveler's purpose for existing still have any meaning? If the purpose no longer exists, would their journey back to the past still hold any meaning to undertake? Another interesting paradox is the Pinsky paradox. In this hypothesis, a billiard ball is sent back in time through a wormhole and collides with its past self. This will alter the ball's flight trajectory, making the initial event impossible to occur. The paradoxes of causal loops are far more complex. For example, the predestination paradox posits that any attempt to alter the past has, in fact, already been predetermined. That means the time traveler is forced to return to personally create that change. Similarly, the bootstrap paradox refers to an object or piece of information that is sent back into the past, and then become that very thing in the future, creating an inexplicable loop. These paradoxes are not confined to mere theoretical thought experiments about time travel, but also a challenge to our imagination regarding the relationship between time, cause and effect, and reality. They force us to contemplate both the limitations and the possibilities of time travel. At the same time, it raises the question of finding feasible solutions to overcome these paradoxes, and whether humans can truly travel through time. These paradoxes compel us to contemplate the very nature of time itself. It also raises profound questions about free will and destiny. The relationship between these paradoxes suggests a complex web of causality, and it forces us to reconsider the true nature of time. Currently, is what we know about the universe merely the tip of the iceberg? Such questions will always haunt us on the journey to explore the nature of time and the possibility of traveling through it. Time dilation and Einstein's theory of relativity. The passage of time is one of the core concepts in physicist Albert Einstein's famous theory of relativity. This passage challenges our conventional understanding of how time passes. According to this theory, time is not an immutable quantity that everyone experiences in exactly the same way. In reality, time can pass faster or slower depending on one's motion relative to another. Imagine there are two clocks, one placed on a high-speed train. The remaining one is fixed to one side of the ship. For those on board, that clock was still running perfectly normally. However, for the person on the ship, their own clock appears to run slower. This is not an optical illusion but a fact. The clock on the ship actually measures a longer period of time. This phenomenon becomes even more pronounced as the object's velocity approaches the speed of light. Time dilation is not just a theoretical phenomenon but also has practical effects that have been verified through experiments. For example, atomic clocks, the most precise timekeeping instruments, were placed aboard airplanes and compared with clocks stationed on the ground. The result is that the clock on the airplane, even though it was only moving at the speed of a typical commercial airliner, that clock also runs slightly slower than the clock placed on the ground. Furthermore, the extension of time also has a profound impact on the structure of the universe. This theory indicates that time and space are intimately interconnected. Altogether forms a four-dimensional structure that we call spacetime. This fabric may stretch, bend, or become deformed when subjected to force from heavy objects. The presence of celestial bodies such as planets or stars has changed the way we perceive time. Although the effects of time dilation in everyday life may be very small for most of us, but its impact on philosophy and our perception of time is profoundly deep. It forces us to reconsider how we perceive and comprehend the concept of time. It is no longer an immutable flow, but rather like a flow that can be altered by the forces and movements within the universe. The mystery surrounding Andrew Carson, who is said to be from the year 2256, is intertwined with countless strange stories of time travel. But a special event captured the world's attention: the story of Andrew Carson. In the early 2000s, Andrew Carson, a man of utterly ordinary appearance, made a series of astonishingly accurate predictions about the stock market. Initially, he started his business with a modest capital of just $800, yet he made astonishingly accurate predictions about the financial market's movements. Each time he predicted correctly, his assets grew exponentially. And in just a short time, Andrew Carson had amassed a fortune worth $350 million. This extraordinary success, beyond all imagination, has captured the keen interest of both financial experts and regulatory authorities. And not long after that, he was arrested. While imprisoned, Carson made a revelation that left everyone utterly astonished. Instead of making the usual excuses, he bluntly declared himself to be a time traveler from the year 2256. The reason he was able to predict the stock market so accurately is that he already knew the outcome of the financial fluctuations in advance. Of course, his statements inevitably made people suspicious. The FBI conducted a more thorough investigation into Carson's background. This story has sparked considerable controversy and piqued intense public curiosity, stemming from Carson's shocking claims. Not only does it challenge traditional financial principles, it also raises profound questions about the feasibility of time travel. Everyone wonders whether such things actually happen or not. And if that is indeed true, how would it impact our perception of time and the future? But the deeper I delved, the more everything seemed to become vague and elusive. No reliable records or information about Andrew Carson could be found in the authorities' database. This only adds to the story's mystique. The companies and corporations where he had amassed his enormous fortune were also completely unaware of his prior dealings. Additionally, Carson made the bold claim that he possessed secret knowledge regarding remedies for terminal illnesses and the ability to forecast future global events. Statements like these sound no different than dialogue from a science fiction movie. But the absence of any records along with his uncanny predictive abilities has sparked intense debate among experts. Is Andrew Carson truly an emissary sent from the future? Or is it just a clever deception, skillfully embellished with a touch of drama? To this day, the story of Andrew Carson remains an unsolved mystery. Many people remain endlessly curious about the feasibility of time travel, and the wondrous things the future may bring. Kong Vin doesn't have the time, and time machines are theoretical. Time travel has always been a subject that captivates and stimulates the human imagination. Often considered the pinnacle of human creativity, if one day it could become a reality. One of the most groundbreaking concepts in this field is the space-time glory formula. Rather than viewing space and time as two separate entities, scientists have observed an extremely strong connection between them. All of it creates what we call the fabric of space-time. Imagine this fabric can be stretched, bent, or even folded. In theory, these changes could open the path to building a time machine. And the trails that connect moments in the flow of time. Dr. Ana Alonso Sano is a renowned theoretical physicist. There have been significant contributions to clarifying this concept. According to her research, space-time is not merely a passive backdrop. The venue where events take place can be actively bent. This bending process is not merely an abstract theory, but also yields practical consequences in reality. Massive celestial bodies such as stars and planets warp the spacetime around them. Therefore, this effect is what we perceive as gravity. Dr. Serrano, a colleague of hers, remarked that it would be fantastic if we could harness. And by controlling this curvature, we can open the door to different times and places that were previously beyond our reach. Imagine a future where we can create pathways through spacetime, creating shortcuts to different eras. These journeys will not follow a straight line, but will be leaps in the development process. In our common understanding of time as a linear progression. Of course, this idea is not without its own challenges. The necessary energy, potential risks, and ethical issues are factors that must be carefully considered. However, as Dr. Serrano pointed out, this possibility suggests that spacetime may itself be a kind of physical field that we can control, much like how we navigate through three-dimensional space in our daily lives. It is a concept that is both captivating and frightening, because the consequences it brings could be truly immense. The sentimental logic of quantum mechanics and time. Quantum mechanics, a foundational theory in physics, has opened up profoundly challenging perspectives on the nature and structure of reality. Especially when we consider the nature of time. As we delve deeper into the microscopic world, our conventional understanding of time begins to unravel. This forces us to reconsider the things we have long taken for granted. One of the most remarkable consequences of quantum mechanics is the Wheeler-DeWitt equation. In the late 1960s, John Wheeler and Bryce DeWitt were the two people who proposed this theory. This equation was created with the purpose of unifying quantum mechanics and general relativity. The surprising thing is that when they developed this equation, the element of time seemed to completely vanish. This equation suggests that at the most fundamental quantum scale, the concept of time as we understand it may not exist at all. Rather than a river that sweeps away every moment, perhaps time does not truly exist in the way we have always imagined. We often measure time by the ticking of the clock and the silent passage of days. However, quantum physics suggests that the true nature of time may be far different from what we commonly imagine. Indeed, in the everyday world as we know it, time flows onward with unwavering regularity, from one minute to the next, from one day to another. However, when delving into the microscopic world, time is no longer a smooth and continuous flow, but could be a scene so still it is frozen, challenging all our conventional understanding of it. This perspective is truly shocking. What if time is not a fundamental component of the universe, but merely an artificial construct, an illusion arising from the limitations of human perception? If time is not as solid and fixed as we believe, the consequences of that would be profoundly significant. It will completely change the way we perceive reality. It makes us wonder, are the things we see and understand about the world around us truly as we believe? That question will open the door to a universe perhaps far more complex and mysterious than we ever imagined. Perhaps the true nature of time is akin to the world of quantum particles. That is still something we cannot grasp. And if that is indeed the case, the things we have always taken for granted about the concept of time, perhaps they are merely illusions, stemming from the limitations of our human perception. Kerr black hole theory and the hypothesis of traversable spacetime regions. The theory of black holes is one of the most mysterious concepts in the field of cosmology. It opens a promising window into unexplored mysteries. In the 1960s, a mathematician named Roy Kerr found a solution to the equations in Einstein's theory of general relativity. A rotating black hole, also known as a Kerr black hole, is a type of black hole that spins around its axis. Unlike the conventional image of a black hole, typically thought of as a single point containing an immense mass in space, the distinguishing feature of a Kerr black hole is its rotational motion. According to Kerr's solution, this rotation itself is capable of producing a ring-shaped singularity. Rather than being a singularity like conventional black holes, it opens up the possibility of a wormhole connecting different spacetimes. Two separate regions of spacetime. If Kerr's theory is correct, rotating black holes could potentially act as portals for space travel, wormholes, or shortcuts through space and time. However, the biggest problem lies in this. What would happen if we actually traveled through such a wormhole? What awaits on the other side? Is this the door to a parallel universe, where physical laws, both historical and current, are completely different from our world? Imagine that entering a black hole might not necessarily be the end. That could be a journey to discover a completely new universe. However, it must be admitted that this idea still has many points that are not truly clear. Although this theory has been proven indirectly and has some mathematical descriptions. However, the operational mechanism of rotating black holes remains something we do not fully understand. Many questions still remain unanswered. Could these black holes actually be gateways to other dimensions? Or are they just colossal machines, devouring everything without leaving a trace? Perhaps the truth is still hiding somewhere, challenging all our understanding of reality. The Fermi paradox and its connection to time travel. The Fermi paradox is a perplexing question in the field of research on the existence of extraterrestrial life. A prominent question arises: is the universe teeming with life? So why haven't we found aliens yet? This becomes even more intriguing when placed in the context of time travel. In the vastness of space and the infinity of time, do we dare to pose the question? We encountered travelers from other galaxies, or even from humanity. This question goes beyond merely searching for unidentified flying objects in the sky. It is also tied to the inner stillness we experience when contemplating the boundless dimensions of time and space. Here are some hypotheses put forward to explain this silence in the context of time travel. One hypothesis suggests that time travel, despite its undeniable theoretical appeal for advanced civilizations, this endeavor likely remains too complex due to the challenges of mastering spacetime, as mentioned in Stang's theory and other academic discussions. Another hypothesis suggests that time travel could be entirely feasible, but it must be undertaken with the utmost caution. Imagine a provisional decree, established by time travelers, those who have understood every consequence, on the risks of intervening in events from the past or the future. Therefore, they chose to observe from the sidelines rather than participate directly in the events. Perhaps they have existed right here, hidden within human society without ever being detected, and ensure that the flow of time remains entirely undisturbed. Another possibility to consider is that time travel may have certain inherent limitations. There may exist forbidden zones within the timeline, inviolable moments that cannot be crossed. Perhaps due to our inherent fragility, or some profound cosmic reason, that our current era has taken shape in this manner. It will become a moment preserved forever in space and time. The story of the time-traveling hipster is one of the most allegedly real cases of time travel. This is one of the most fascinating and mysterious phenomena of recent times. This story went viral when a photo allegedly taken in 1941 surfaced. At the reopening ceremony, Carl Safark in Coalbridge, British Columbia was officially announced. The interesting thing about this photo is that it depicts a man who looks completely out of place. Amid the crowd, he stood there, clad in attire from the 1940s. But she was wearing modern clothes and sunglasses. This photo, with the oversized glasses and the digital camera in hand. This has led many to suspect that he is, in fact, a time traveler, caught on camera in a fleeting moment. However, upon closer examination of this issue, we find that it is more fictional than factual. Upon closer inspection of the photo, it turns out that the items this man is wearing are not real. It feels so foreign, like it's from another era. The glasses he was wearing, for example, were a fairly common style in the 1940s. The t-shirt he was wearing, with its printed graphic design, was also the popular style of printed shirt at the time. Even the camera, which many mistakenly believe to be a modern digital device. Actually, it's a dark-colored antique camera from the early 20th century. Based on these details, the story of the time-traveling hipster website was actually just a wonderfully amusing misunderstanding, reflecting our society's fascination with the mysterious and the strange. This story highlights the importance of critical thinking, and always maintain a skeptical attitude toward claims that are too absurd. The rapid spread of this story highlights the unique appeal of tales with mysterious and strange overtones. Modern society is often captivated by the bizarre, while paying little attention to verifying the truth. It is also a powerful reminder that, although mysteries like time travel always capture the most attention, we need a balanced perspective, grounded in facts and tangible evidence. In the world of unexplained phenomena, we must be very cautious and maintain clear discernment. What are the things that are truly inexplicable, and what are merely the things we need to contemplate more thoroughly? Do you believe that humans are capable of time travel? And if that were true, do you want to return to the past or step into the future? But first, don't forget to press the button. Thank you for watching until the end.